I called a suicide hotline one night and I was like, I've been up for 48 hours. My stomach feels like it. I'm going to start crying. Sorry.
I don't talk about it.
I have never told really anyone.
Sorry. I literally haven't talked about my pregnancy and I'm 7 weeks postpartum. This is my first time.
It's very violent, very painful. It's like torment. It's like torture.
I would be sick up to 75 times a day.
I'm throwing up 100 times a day.
Every hour I would vomit.
15 times in less than 3 to 4 hours.
I would breathe and have maybe like a 15-minute reprieve, and then I would be vomiting again.
The taste comes back in the saliva and makes her sick again. Sorry.
My body literally could not take in any food or water at all.
I started throwing up blood.
I was throwing up blood.
I got to the point where I was like throwing up blood just because of all the acid and everything.
I vomited just this black, jet black liquid.
That looks like coffee and I don't drink coffee.
It looked like coffee grounds, so I don't have anything in my system anymore. So it was blood, basically.
I would not wish this on my worst enemy.
The level and the lack of understanding and help I really wasn't ready for.
Throwing up 30 plus times a day, you can't eat anything, you can't keep anything down, you have doctors that are supposed to be saving your life that are questioning if you're even telling the truth.
I lost 46% of my body weight because they wouldn't listen to me. Why weren't they listening?
I had no muscle mass. I remember like pinching my just arm here and it felt like paper.
My mom does not like this picture because look how skinny my arms got.
Jeez, yeah, that is like a concentration camp.
Yeah, I look like a concentration camp victim.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, you never know how strong you are till you go through it and come out on the other side.
I'm afraid I'm gonna die, or I'm afraid I'm not gonna wake up when I go to sleep. And that's how sick you feel.
I had a male doctor and he was pretty dismissive at first and just saying, it's just morning sickness. You just have to deal with it. Some people have it worse than others. Okay.
This can't be what morning sickness is. Like women can't go through this and like say that this is normal and wonderful.
Oh, it's fine. It's normal. It's like, it's not though.
You know, like I said, I could be on the internet for 10 minutes, watch a TED Talk. I can go on YouTube, there's 5 different women and they all have the same thing. Even down to, they all say, don't offer me crackers and ginger. What does the doctor do? So if it's that easy for me to get to it, then why are some of the doctors kind of like, what's going on?
I am Dr. Marlena Fazo, and I am a mother of 3, an HG survivor, and a faculty researcher at UCLA and USC. Well, for decades, the leading theory was that HCG causes HG. HCG is the pregnancy hormone, and there really has never been evidence, scientific evidence to support that. So what I decided to do was to use an unbiased approach with respect to whether HCG is involved or anything else for that matter. And what we found was strong support for 2 genes being associated with HG. My hope is that now that we know these risk genes, that drugs will be developed to target this pathway and that they will be safe for women and potentially be a cure for HG. They say that babies get everything they need, but now we know that that's not necessarily the case, that there are long-term outcomes. We see a significantly increased risk of neurodevelopmental delay in children from HG pregnancies, in addition to an increased risk for autism spectrum disorder.
Beautiful baby.
Society's fallen away too. We want answers from doctors, and I think they've got so much status that they can't not give an answer. They feel they have to say, I know, even when sometimes they don't know. And if they don't know, they like to ignore things, and they often will ignore diseases that they're not comfortable about explaining and don't have a cure for, which they really don't have a cure for hyperemesis.
My doctor actually said to me, I think that you're doing this because you want attention from your parents. As if I really wanted the attention of my dad having to change my bedpan and measure my ketones.
Well, do you know what the treatment was? So when my father and father-in-law were in medical school, they were telling me that a generation ago, that they were taught that women that had hyperemesis didn't want the baby that they were pregnant with, and you know what the treatment was then? They would put them in a room with a padded room and lock them in there and let them vomit, and that was the treatment.
It's disgusting, and yet I've heard that they still do that in France.
Oh, really?
You have mothers-to-be that are giving the black room, hysterical stuff, and still now.
It's shocking how serious of a condition this is for it to be so unknown.
He said that we can't do this, this, and this because hyperemesis, he believes, is a mental condition.
It's called Hyperemesis Gravidarum. I hope that's how I pronounce it right. We'll find out in a second. Hyperemesis.
Hyperemesis Gravidarum. It sounds like something Harry Potter would say.
Amy Schumer hospitalized facing pregnancy complications.
First of all, Robin, we have to clarify, and I really want to drive this point home. Hyperemesis gravidarum, or HG, people say it's severe morning sickness. Not really. It's severe morning sickness, like a blizzard is just a few flurries. This is a very, very serious complication in pregnancy.
Women are still dying from hyperemesis, which is the story that should be told. And they're assuring you, oh, everything's fine, everything's fine. And it's like, okay, I'm dying, but I'm supposed to believe that my child's okay.
People just don't know. Why people just don't know, that's the question.